In this video, I'm going to take a look at this BMW electric car charger, talk a little bit about how it works, and take a look inside. So these things are often supplied with electric cars, and they're often referred to as a charger, but really all they do is they connect the car to your mains electricity, and then all the actual charging electronics is all inside the car itself. So all this box really needs to do is to connect the car to the mains electricity, tell the car how much power it's allowed to draw, and most importantly, disconnect the car if anything goes wrong.
The connector for the car end is called a Type 2 connector, which is very common in Europe. And the pin right in the middle is the protective earth, and it has a line and a neutral either side of it, a bit like a UK mains plug. Below that, there are two other pins, and these are only used on three-phase chargers. And up top, there are two smaller pilot control pins.
Another thing to note about this connector is the little notch at the top, which is used by the car to lock the connector in place while it's in use, and that's good because it stops other people just unplugging your car while you're not there, but it's also used by the charger to make sure that it's had time to stop the current flowing through the pins at the end of the charging session before you then unplug the cable, because if you're constantly plugging and unplugging while there's a lot of current flowing through these, then over time that would start to damage the contacts on these connectors. One of the charger's main jobs is to tell the car how much current it's allowed to draw. So a UK main socket can safely supply around 10 amps, but a larger charger might supply up to 32 amps, and the charger communicates this to the car through one of those control pins at the top. If we use an oscilloscope to measure the control signal on the charger, we see that as the charger switches on, after some initialization, we get a 12 volt signal to show that the charger is present. If we then pretend to connect a vehicle by attaching a resistor and a diode between this pin and ground, the charger sends out an alternating waveform where the duty cycle, or the time the signal spends high versus the time it spends low, is what tells the car how much power is available. So in this case, the pulses are quite narrow and the ratio is around 16%, which corresponds to about 10 amps. This is exactly what you'd expect for a charger designed to connect to a UK main socket.
In more advanced chargers, this signal can be used quite cleverly to dynamically vary the charge rate to track generation from local solar panels, wind turbines, or when the grid electricity is cheapest.
So just taking a quick look at the label on the back of the charger, we see that 10 amp rating crop up again. We also see the product's IP67 rated, which means it's protected from dust, but also from submersion in water for short periods. I'm not sure you'd really want to do that, but there you go. This symbol down here also says that we've got protection from AC earth leakage faults. Though interesting, this product doesn't include any DC leakage protection, which is now required for charger installs in the UK. The car charger is galvanically isolated, which is perhaps why BMW didn't think it was necessary on this product, but there we go.
So to get into this unit, we need to remove the 8 screws that hold it together, and each of them is hiding behind one of these little plastic caps which I'm prizing out with a screwdriver. The screws themselves have this pentalobe security head, so I'm guessing BMW really didn't want people taking this thing apart. But with all of those removed, the cover pops off pretty easily, and it's just a few more torque screws to remove the PCB.
So starting off looking at the back of the board, this down here is the controller for the low voltage power supply, and this is its opto isolator, and I think this is generating that plus or minus 12 volts that's used for all of the controller electronics. Sort of up here is the main microcontroller, which is doing all the control of the unit, and sort of its oscillator and some power supply components around here. This is another ST part which is designed for power measurement, and it's measuring the voltage across this 0.3 milliohm resistor, which is got the main power flowing through it. So this is measuring the voltage across this resistor and using that to infer how much current is flowing through the device, and it communicates that back up to the micro through this isolator part so that the two can talk to each other, but there's a sort of isolation barrier between the two of them, as obviously all of this is on the high voltage main side. So on that note, all of these traces here you can see are quite thick, chunky traces, and they're all stitched through to the layer beneath with lots and lots of wires to help distribute the current and the heat. And there's also big clearances over here, as obviously all of this is at that mains voltage. So over on the top side we can see this is the mains power coming in on these connections here, and these are the connections that are going off to the car over here. This is the main relay which is used to disconnect the car from the rest of the supply, and down here is the little pilot control pin that we talked about earlier. This large blue part here, I couldn't find much information online. It's branded Delphi, and my guess is that this is the AC leakage sensor that's used for that 30 milliamp fault detection, but I'm not sure. The components over here, we've got a transformer, a rectifier, and some output capacitors, which are for that 12 volt supply that we looked at on the other side. And finally, then there's a little connector down here, which goes off to some temperature sensor connections that go off to the plug, and they provide just another sort of temperature fault limit for the system. And this also connects up to the LEDs that are on the front panel of the cover. That's it for now. I hope this helped shed a little bit of light as to what these chargers are and what's going on inside. If you enjoyed the video, please comment, like or subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.